I'll start it now. Okay, let me check and see that it's on. Uh, oh, yeah, we are. Okay. Is it working?
Okay.
Is it working? Oh, it's working. Okay, we're lit. Should we see here? I'll play some Skrillex real quick and see if the stream is actually playing audio correctly. Let's play some yeah. The stream on my browser? What do you mean? Yeah, I don't have it open right now. Okay, wait. I'm gonna play the song again real quick. Tell me if everything sounds good on your end through the stream. Are we good? Okay, we're lit. All right, hello everybody. Hello. Who's all here active right this moment? Type one in the chat. One in the chat. We got Zen Kid. We got Rickster. Who else is in here? Ooh, here we go. We got Hey. It's Novici 187 or Novici. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna check real quick who else submitted stuff. We got submissions from. You said what? Oh, Nova Psi. Okay, we got Zen Kid submitted, Okarin submitted, DJ Intellect in submitted, Mode submitted, or Intellect. Insomnia submitted, Prod something, Sheg, Nova Psi, Runts, Mitsuko, uh, MPX Asylum, Zeos, I'm guessing. Timos and Five Step. Five Step, let me add your song to that now. Okay. All right. You're going to be back, you said? No, you're good. You have time to submit if you want to submit your song real quick. I think as soon as everyone's ready here, we're going to get started. Just trying to give it a little bit of time so people can join. How many people are in here now? Let's see. Okay. Ganymede, there should be like a short delay right now, is there? Okay, good. Because the last one, it was like a whole 40 seconds before it even like played audio. And it took so long to reply to people. All right, we got this. Okay, good. Who else? I'm actually going to reply to that tweet real fast. All right, let me reply to this. Okay. All right, let's get started with this. We're going to start off with the first submission. We got Zen Kid with Moondrop. Let's do this. Also, if it's like too loud or too quiet, let me know. Yeah, that was tough. Who would like to go first? Yeah. Wait, can you guys hear yourself on the stream? Because I'm checking in right now. Yeah, okay. I don't think it's coming through. Hold on, wait. I was wondering that because it wasn't showing up on OBS. Let me. Is there something I'm missing here? Input device. I wonder why that would be happening. Let me see. Active bang screen share. Yeah, wait. But why is it not picking up your voices? Oh, they say just. Oh, and then just probably
Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. I see. I see you're popping up now.
We yeah.
Okay, can everyone
Okay.
hear Rickster and Ganymed now?
Are we good?
Okay, yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Rickster, I'm
Hell yeah.
sorry. You're gonna have to repeat
Yeah,
everything you
yeah, no,
said.
no, 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 that's all good. That's all good. Okay, so I did take a little bit of notes, but number one, I do think the snare, especially, but the drums just in general could be boosted. The snare's mad quiet. Um, trap snares are definitely more supposed to like crack you in your ear, like sitting up at like minus 2 dB, like really loud. And I feel like your snare is a little quiet. Um, Number two, I kind of want more movement to the patch, like the song in general. I get kind of sick of the super saw by like 50, 60% of the way through. And even something as simple as like just like filtering it out and like layering another patch could be all you really need. Um, it's just like that sound kind of drags on for a little too long. And just like I know you have a lot of ear candy and like processing on it, but I think just a different patch at some points could definitely help it out. Um I also want some like additional melodies because right now it kind of just feels like something that you would already have like it's kind of written in the sense of like it's for an artist to like sing on or rap on or something, you know? There's a lot of space for like one main element that I feel like it needs, whether it's like a main just melody that kind of sits on top of everything that really like drives the track home, or just something like a vocal or whatever. Ah, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Um, if that's the case, then I'd probably just say yeah, just probably some additional melodies or ear candy. Um, and I'd probably clean up like the main kind of I guess color bassy sound that hits every time like the drop starts. It's a little like watery, and I feel like it could really benefit to just be like kind of cleaned up and really focused. Um, other than that, the outro is like really sick. I do love when like a song like throws like a gross beat preset on the outro. It's like classic.
Yeah. To add to that, I just wanted to say, like midway through the first drop, I would have just added like an ARP or a pad, something like maybe a lead melody on top, whatever. Because you do have that in the second drop with the vocal chops, but I think you do it kind of too late. I wish it happened sooner, not just the vocals, but as I said, you could add an ARP just to grab the attention again and keep it going. But that's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with everything Rick's just said. It's hard. He kind of said everything there. That was very solid, on point. Sick idea. Definitely did get very repetitive though. So adding other synths or other melodies in there would have been good. But otherwise, it's a super solid track, man. Definitely just keep grinding. It's gonna go crazy. But thank you for the submission. Now, who is this again? This is Okarin with
Yeah.
Innership OST. All right. Uh,
Hell yeah.
I think I can start this one off a little bit.
Yeah.
First, it's got some very old school vibes for sure. I think someone said Mega Man vibes. Um, very, very, very true right there. I will say it does sound a little flat. Everything is just kind of like very non-processed. I don't know if that's just the vibe you were going for or what was going on with that. I don't know the mindset, but from what it sounds, it does sound very, very flat. It does get very, very, very repetitive. Um, Everything is just kind of the same thing copied and paste. So maybe some more elements, uh, some more background elements could even be introduced into that. I feel like the snare could maybe be changed up. The selection for that maybe could be just a little bit better, and definitely some frequencies. I don't know if it's just because I'm in AirPods right now and the sound also changes when I'm in Discord, but some frequencies could definitely be EQ'd. As I don't know if it's again just the sound quality changing with my AirPods, but it did hurt my ears and when some of those higher frequencies were hitting. But that's my feedback personally.
Yeah, the only thing I'd have to say is, well, first of all, I don't think people should be arguing that hard in the chat. It's
Yeah.
either it's just a chip tune song, and then that's fine, or it's someone that maybe hasn't produced for that long, and it's fine. Like, um, I think even as just a chiptune song, I think they got a great ear for melody. I would have just added some chords or something that's more lush, that adds like a backbone to the song, and maybe some stereo element. But that's it, because as I said, they clearly have some a good ear for melodies, and yeah, it's just a good chiptune song.
Yeah, I mean, my kind of addition to that is you can make some really like first the first thing is to kind of figure out like what exact vibe kind of like song you're going for, you know? Are you going like really retro like NES, SNES, like 8-bit to 16-bit kind of record. Then I'd say you gotta back off even more and kind of embrace like the quirks of the way all those songs sound. Like they're fully mono. You can't like all the synths themselves in some of those songs are completely mono. You can't like play counter melodies on the same like MIDI track. You'd have to separate them between instruments. Um, and then I think you only have like on an NES, you only have like 4 channels of like audio information along with like a noise channel. And then or like on an SNES, I think you have 8 or something. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but if you're going for really retro, I would really like try to embrace the quirks of what kind of medium you're trying to replicate. Like bit crush the song, downsample it, make it sound like it's coming out of like an old video game console. Um, Otherwise, if you're kind of going for more like a hybrid, like retro, but also still like modern kind of thing, which I can also see, um, I would definitely probably add like a B section that just has a different chord progression. Just do like a B kind of structure because like one that's like much different, like an ABAC. My fault. You know what I mean?
Solid feedback.
Yeah.
But sick submission, man. Definitely killed it. Just keep grinding. But thank you, man.
Facts.
Who else do we got here? We got, I think, yes, DJ Intellect with the 3am.wav. Let's do it. All right.
Hell yeah.
Ganymede, would you like to go
All right.
first? Or Rick?
Yeah, so yeah, I wanna go. I don't have that many points. The first thing I noticed were the sweeps and drum fills that were they kind of threw me off. They were in the place that I expected them to be. Maybe they were like a bar or two earlier than I expected. And other than that, I think the same progression and breeze. I don't think they can carry throughout the whole song. Uh, at least not without changing them in any way, like filtering them out or changing the chord progression, adding a midsection with some different instruments. So the thing I'd suggest is kind of have a break. The whole song kind of keeps going. There's always drums playing. Not that you don't need not that you need a section without drums. It's just a reference. You don't want the energy to be kept at around the same level all throughout, in my opinion. So I'd have a section dedicated to kind of cooling off and experiment with other instruments and melodies, and then you can bring back the established chord progression that also makes it so that the listener enjoys it more. But that's like the key elements that I wanted to point out.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, so I think yeah, kind of bouncing off the like the idea of the melody bass line itself is like fine. I think it leaves a little bit to be desired. The main issue I have with it is that I don't think it's interesting enough, I guess, to last for 5 minutes. You know? If you just like switch it up and like something that could be all you need to do. The drums in the intro before the break kind of kicks in, they feel a little dry. I think you could maybe tighten them up and throw some spice onto them, like just whether it's like like a reverb on like the hats or something, just to add a little bit more like kind of depth to them. Could be something really simple. It depends, I guess, on the kind of vibe you're going for, because this does kind of remind me of like 90s jungle. And if that's the case, I definitely go about something to just like keep this track a little more interesting would be to just have like some kind of atmosphere throughout the whole song, like some kind of like weird long sample, like Foley recording or like a pad or like a soundscape, just something to like fill out the background. If you really want to go for like an old kind of jungle sound. I do like when the break comes in. I do think it really tightens up everything. But would definitely probably benefit from like a counter melody. I think the chords could be a little more stereo, maybe some chorus or like ping pong delay on them or something. Um, maybe even switching the Reese to like an 808 again if you really want to go for like a jungle vibe. Um, and then the mid section, I do also think it really starts to drag. I think you could make this song like half the length it is, and you could still get the same payoff and kind of progression that you have right now. You know what I mean? Um, and maybe some extra like sound effects, like impacts and like sweeps and stuff. That's about it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just add I just like two main elements, either some more hats or rides and something like, as Rick said, like a pad or a washed out vocal. I think that would tie up everything together because I
Yeah.
didn't think of jungle immediately, but I did see this kind of a more like a liquid DMB. Like if it had more that type of reeds, so I think
Yeah,
you
true.
could go into that direction with a washed out vocal, but just adding these things will go a long way, but you have a solid basis for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
And also
definitely.
I
Yeah.
just want to add, just because I don't want this to go further in chat, please don't like just
Yeah.
don't attack people. There's
We don't
of
gotta
course
be a
there's gonna
dickhead
be
with that.
beginner producers. I don't want people to put down producers that maybe haven't produced for that long or aren't comfortable with a new genre.
Yeah.
I like yeah, people can just experiment with new stuff and learn, and that's okay. They will get there.
Yeah.
Don't push them to stop making music.
Yeah, facts.
I definitely agree. I feel like you got to realize too, like even if you're more experienced in a specific thing, at the end of the day, you sounded like that too, and it's just you can't put down other people like that. But for my portion of this, I will say it does definitely give me like a key gen R2R vibe. Like, you know, when you'd like, I don't know, like a long time ago when I like download a torrent and it would just play the little jungle in the
Yeah.
background. But yeah, that I like it. I like it. It definitely could use more fills. I feel like everything they've also said too is very, very solid. Like adding more elements, like some type of atmosphere, like Ganymede said, like a long vocal stretch or something drowning it out in the background. It does get repetitive, but it's also just that genre. It does get very repetitive, so I won't knock it that hard. I think I've already said the sound elements, just something that could be also just more identifiable because everything right now is really just that Reese. So, um, but yeah, and also like the pan section, I think it was like a little bit halfway through. So I think there was like one part of it that was like it's just a little bit too offbeat. I think it if it would be pushed forward or back a little bit, probably would have felt a little bit more groovy. But yeah, definitely what they
Yeah.
said was great. Great feedback on that. What does it say, Ben? Yeah, I mean, if it persists, then we will definitely do that. But until then, we'll just let it slide for this second. But okay, who's this now? This is Mode. We got Mode with Blue Blur.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Hell yeah. Um, I mean, so I think honestly, I think the idea is really sick. I think this is like I don't hear a lot of like really sugary, like kind of hyper music like this too often. In like a lot of the places I'm around. So this is yeah, I do really like the kind of vibe and just place it's in. I think some of the sound selection ends up getting a little grating. Like just one extra section again could probably help break up the kind of flow of everything because it just everything's coming as you expect, you know, and to a degree like something to just break that up would be really nice. Mixing wise, I think the pad and the intro's a little too loud. There's a lot of things that are probably a little too loud. They're kind of saturating or hitting your limiter or whatever you have on your master like a little too hard. So I'd probably just back everything off. Um, but the pad specifically is definitely a little loud. And the impact that kind of triggers throughout the song, that's also pretty loud. Um, uh, the drop's really cool. If it had a little bit more like sub bass or something, or just something to kind of like, because you're kind of like coming into the drop and you're already hearing all the frequencies and everything's already in stereo. So when the drop hits, there's not like much of a like kind of impact. If you like kind of cut away the low end in the buildup and then you bring all the low end and stuff back when the drop hits, then it'll have way more impact and really like get people hype. Um, and then yeah, that's probably it. The bell counter melody in the intro is cool, but it doesn't totally make sense. I think it need a little bit work on like what it's playing and where it's sitting. But I do think you could make it work. It just right now it's just I'm like, does that sound like it's supposed to be there? Right now, I don't know, but I do think you could get it to sound like it belongs there, if that makes sense, by tweaking what it's playing and when it's playing.
Cool. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah, the only thing I'd add is kind of for the established rhythm that goes all throughout the song. I kind of expected like to be a clap or some small snare in the drop. Just me. It would make it more like easy to follow, but I guess that's probably personal preference.
Or like Jersey on it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say
that's why I was saying it's kind of personal preference. Yeah.
it definitely needs a different B section. I feel like Rickster said, everything is just coming exactly how you'd expect. It's just repeating. More diversity would be good. Maybe adding some different sounds, different flows in a different section. That could be cool. I like it does sound very anime-y. I think someone said Kawaii Wonderland. Like that definitely does fit that vibe. But yeah, it definitely just needs more breakups and diversity. But I think they said some very solid points there. So, but thank you so much for sending that
Yeah.
in. Sick track, man. We got now Insomnia with Obsidian Wings work in progress. Let's see. Yo, that was tough.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Let me see. I'm still writing some stuff down here, so if
Yeah.
anyone has anything.
I can go. The intro is super sick. It does feel a little dense to come in on a track. It feels like maybe it's just too loud. Maybe if you just like turn the song down like at the intro and then then you have the drop and it's even more impactful because it sounds like all these like atmospheres and pads and stuff are hitting like your limiter a little too hard and it's like kind of fighting itself. So I think just backing that section off a little bit could then make the drop have even more impact. Personally, I don't listen to a lot of Tear Out, because I don't really like it, but I and like I don't like the snare at all. I hate these kinds of snares, but that could be like that's totally like my own personal preference as like a nitpick thing. So if you're like, yeah, no, I want the snare, then keep it. Um, I think it could definitely do with like some like crazy modulated bass fills, like some like band past Reese's going like or some shit like every 4 or 8 bars or something. Um, because there's really just like that main like gun bass for the most part. Um, I think something to sell the transition from like the post drop section before the second drop. I think something to kind of sell that transition because it kind of just cuts back to the kind of ARP. And I don't know what that would be. That's very much dependent on like the song you have. You know, that's how like every time I have this kind of issue, it ends up just like manifesting out of me like reverse reverbing random elements from like the previous section and the first section to kind of sell the transition. And then I do think the second drop should be quite a bit more different. I think either some more bass sounds or a more like kind of groovy flow. I think because you have this very head banging flow in the first drop. I think something a little more groovy and in like a pocket would be sick for the second drop. So you get that kind of juxtaposition. And maybe some more bass sounds. But that's about it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I was gonna say for the second drop, I like after the first 3 hits, maybe a pause and a choir that rises and brings in the drop again, something. But mainly, my main gripes are the kick is for me it's a tad too zappy. But again, that's personal preference. And as Brick said, more fills, like either bass fills or drum fills throughout the drop, just to not make it just be the gun. And just a nitpick, the transition after the first drop could be a little bit better. I think just like the impact itself doesn't quite work that like perfectly to blend the two sections together. Like even just adding a pad or reverbing out the guns would suffice, I think. But other than that, like you clearly know what you're doing. You're very good at Tear Out, clearly. So that's just my input on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the outro or the intro was really cool. I feel like maybe you could add like a swoosh into it or something, so it's not just hitting right away. Like maybe like a quick like 0.5 millisecond, 1 millisecond, just a whoop and just straight into it, you know. But the build was super cool. I like that choir sounds; those are really sick. The kick transient is very very snappy. I personally don't like that kind of stuff with Tear Out. That's just again a personal opinion. It could definitely use EQ though, but again, Tear Out does typically use those zappy snares and kicks. So, but yeah, definitely adding more sounds. Like instead of just spamming, spamming the bass, the gun bass is cool, but like definitely diversifying it, adding like Reese's or like Ganymed said, like fills or the choir or anything like that. Just breaking it up more into different sections that could be really sick. The break, like the thing right before the break, like the fill, there's not really anything going on. It just kind of like goes straight into it. I feel like if you added something like a bigger fill or something that just bleeds almost into it a little bit better, that could work. I was gonna say the mixes sound very flat, but I'm just gonna times two what I said, that I'm on AirPods right now and being in Discord makes it compress really weird. So I also can't give very solid advice on mixing at the moment, but super sick track. You obviously know what you're doing. Yeah, man, you got to finish that. It's a really sick track. Who do we have now? We got now the guy that was now banned, so we're gonna skip him. All right, we got Sheg with Taint V2 G minor mix V2. Oh wait, did I not download that track? Let me see. Oh, I didn't. Okay, let me add that quick. was sick.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That rocks.
Let me
Um,
see.
I guess my points are pretty simple. The bassline's super sick. I do think you can get away with probably just rocking that the whole track. Part of me really wants to hear like a trance chord like breakdown, like down, 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 down. Like I think that would be sick. But again, if you want to keep a more like kind of dark, kind of groovy techno, like electro clash vibe, then you could definitely get away with running that bass line the whole track. Mix wise, I do think the bass and the vocals should be in opposite places. The vocals are like super far back, and the bass line's super prominent. And the bass is super stereo, at least how it sounds like through the call I'm in right now. And the vocals sound super mono, so I'd like switch that. I'd probably double track the vocals, or at least put like a chorus on them, and bring the bass a little more mono, so the vocals are like the center point of the track, because that's kind of what they sound like they're supposed to be, you know. Um, also don't think you need to put sidechain on the vocals. Again, that's like pulling them too far back in the mix. Those things are gonna you want them front and center. You could duck them a little bit, but they sound like they're ducking quite a lot. Um, and then in the halftime section, when the drums go like halftime, the clap snare, both of those are way too quiet in that section. I definitely boost them up when they're hitting by themselves without the kick. Um, maybe some double tracking or overdubs on the vocals, ad libs or something to again add a little more like flair to the vocals so they stick out even more and you can really justify putting them at the front of the mix. But I think you should put them at the front of the mix and then sauce them up so they really sound like they belong there.
Yeah,
That's
the
my
only thing I wanted to add is, as Rick said, the square bases may be too stereo, but mainly I think you could have it be that stereo and turn down the like low mids just a bit to also make space for the kind of fundamental of the vocals and bring the vocals up a bit more. And as you said, yeah, also doubling. Um, Also, if I remember correctly, there's like a shuffle section. I would have added maybe a little silence or pause before that, and I also think you could have developed it, could have developed it more. I think it was promising. You could have done something with that, but all around, like a sick track. I don't listen to kind of to this style of music or even like hyper pop stuff, but I do enjoy it from time to time. Yeah, I did like this a lot. Just few nitpicks and that's it.
Yeah, it could definitely use some different melodies or more melodies and counter melodies. I feel like it's just really riding on that square bass and with those little random blips at the end of each bar. Um, the glitch fills were sick though. It could probably use a little bit more of those. Could definitely add some more sections with different movements, different hats, percussive elements, etc. But I feel like they've already said the key majority points there, which were very solid. So thank you guys for submitting that. And then that guy, I guess I mixed it up.
yeah.
That is
We
not
had
the wrong guy.
yeah.
Oopsies. All right. All right. So then
I
we
can't even
got,
find his name in the server, so I don't know who that
he must have
is. I like
just
tried
followed Kier and just
searching.
joined.
Yeah,
Let's see.
bizarre.
So Nayundo, I'm guessing. Prod Nayundo, I think is the name. But all right, here we go. We got top.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Um, I mean, I could start this. So the big thing I'm gonna say is definitely that like offbeat baby sound should definitely be removed. Definitely don't like that. Should not be there. It doesn't even fit. It's very out of place. It's just like a wow randomly. I don't know. I feel like that 100% should just be either swapped out with like a synth stab or just something more melodic. I feel instead of like that sound effect. But I also feel like it could use some sweeps and effects, risers, stuff like that, because everything right now just feels like it's stopping and starting. Like there's not really any build, if you know what I mean. Like you don't know what's about to come. It just kind of like stops and goes, stops and goes. Like it's very I don't know, like I don't know what the word would be with that, but I feel like that's a good representation.
Yeah.
You could definitely use a break section because, like, with no drums, just like maybe using a different melody, just like a nice break because everything is just kind of going, 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 and going. It's not really just like stopping. Like there was a section that stopped for like maybe a second, but it's just leading right back into where it was. So there's not really like a section where it just stops, slows down, catches a break. It just keeps going. But I was gonna say too, there was like a melody somewhere. It was like do 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 do. Like I feel like maybe that one could just be a little bit different. The sound is cool, but definitely switching up the way that it's played could definitely work better. I feel like it just didn't. It kind of threw me off just a little bit. But I feel like that's all I got with this one.
Yeah, I mean, bouncing off that idea of the kind of section that needs a break. Honestly, when that piano comes in, I think that piano, like the riff it's playing, the sound it has, I think that is cool enough to just mute everything else. You can just have that piano rocking by itself to add like a break
I
and
agree.
maybe develop a little like cutesy extra melody over that. I do like the chords. I think some of the counter melodies are sitting in the exact same place as the chords are in the mix. So either like they should be playing notes that aren't as close to where the pad is sitting, or like a brighter or like different sound to kind of differentiate them so they you can kind of place them better in the mix. Um, I do really like that sign counter melody. I wish that stuck around way longer. That doo 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 doo. I think that could stick around way longer. Um, the whole song feels kind of dry. I feel like it could use like a big, like some kind of noise to fill it out, whether it's just like something basic like tape hiss or white noise to just fill everything out, or like some kind of soundscape or an ARP or something to just fill out the kind of dead space that exists behind the drums, pad, and counter melodies that you have. Um, the baby sound is kind of funny. It does kind of make me take the track less seriously. Um, so I guess, yeah. Otherwise, I
I
mean,
wanted to add just a thing before you wrap it up because
yeah.
it did like pop up in my mind because you said the baby sound. You do have some drum machine sounds in there. I think you could have more of them. I think it would add to it. Definitely has the sound palette that you can use where you can use drum machine sounds. I think that would be a nice
Like
addition.
a
But yeah,
cowbell or
didn't want to interrupt. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Something.
Don't. I guess yeah, maybe like for another section, the bass line kind of loops. If you have a section where the bass line just follows the root notes, because it's kind of doing like a weird like walking bass kind of thing, which is cool for some parts. But I think if you had one part where it's just mainly following the root note of the chords to kind of reinforce them at other points would be interesting. Uh, yeah, I think. Oh yeah, there's a clavinet, or I mean not a clavinet. There's like a clav that's like doo like really high up. It almost sounds like when a smoke detector needs its battery changed. I definitely back that off or I'd change the sound. It's kind of ear piercing. Um, Either like pitching it down, turning it down, or replacing it with like something a little softer that's not as like sharp right up in that kind of range. Uh, and yeah, definitely could use some like sound effects too, like maybe like some like crashes that are kind of quiet or like white noise impacts. Like you don't have to do something super crazy like a big cashmere like impact, but just like some white noise sweeps or like some kind of lo-fi like drum machine crashes like Animid was saying. just something to add like some kind of movement and keep the add some kind of motion to the whole song, just so like you feel like you start from like an energy level of 5, and then maybe you go up to a 7, and then you end at like a 3, something like that, just to have like a progression overall the whole song.
Yeah, to add to the progression, I would also have the piano play on its own and have a top melody just in between the track, just to have a different pacing. Also, because the piano sounds really good on its own. As Rick said, that could have been on its own, so it doesn't compete with other sounds. And yeah, that to me deserves its own section. But yeah,
Might even be the intro of the
all
song.
around pretty chill song. I liked it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, thanks for submitting. I think someone asked too if they have time. I mean, we're already been live for an hour. I was only really planning this stream to do about an hour and a half. We're at 58, about to be 59. So if we don't, let me see how long, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I mean, with what we have right now, I mean, this person's 2, so I'm gonna have them pick one, whichever one they want. I'm gonna just say we might have enough to go through all these, and then if there's any more, we'll make sure to do another stream because, yeah, we don't want to run this too long. But
Yeah.
yeah, so let's start off this one now. We got Final V1 with 187 runts.
Wait, Navasai is saying we got skipped.
Who got skipped?
Navasai.
Novasai, where
Oh.
did you submit something?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, you're right. You are right. I forgot. His
Yeah.
thing was pushed back when I closed that browser. All right.
Yeah.
My bad. We're going to actually do this one then. We got Novasai or Ice Core F//R bow whip V5.
Houston, say again, please. Houston, we've had a problem.
Hell yeah. I love
That
a good
was
Jersey
sick.
switch.
That was sick.
So I guess most of the points I have are just kind of more mixed down and just getting stuff to sit a little bit more like where I think it should. Because a lot of this could just you wouldn't have to listen to it. Because I think the idea is there, the mix is there for the most part. But I think in the intro, the vocal chops that happen, I don't know if they were like AI stem split or something, but they sound a little washed out. And I definitely just like everything else in the tracks, like super like in the intros, like kind of watery and like lush. And then I think like a really kind of if you make the vocal maybe a little bit brighter and drier to like stick out from everything else, I think that could be really cool. The big Reese also in the intro, like the big fill, that really needs some stereo. I want that like to pop out like a pop-up book, you know, like just like in your face, like all around your head when you hear it. I think the drop is probably lacking a little low end. Just maybe something simple like a multi-band compressor on like the drop mix bus or something, just crushing the low end a little more, bringing it up. I think the reverb tails and some of those sounds there could maybe be pulled back a little bit and high passed a tad, but I don't listen to a ton of psytrance, so I don't really know if like if that's normally where those kind of sounds sit. I do think it would kind of be better if those reverb tails at least pulled back a little bit. Um, and same thing with the kind of piano melody that comes in halfway through. Um, I think if you like maybe ducked the reverb from the sound, you know, like I know some reverb plugins have like a ducking feature. You could run it in parallel and sidechain it to the piano or whatever, just so it's like because it's kind of bleeding too much over itself, and I really want to hear the melody that's being played, and it's kind of smearing itself out too much. I think the kick needs a little bit of EQ. I don't really like the kind of transient tonally. It's like kind of thwacky, and I want it to like kind of click and snap and zap rather than like sit where it's sitting right now. And then for the second drop, yeah, more low end. And then for the Jersey switch, I'd probably put like a big like stomp fill, like like something right before the Jersey comes in, and something to like add a little like extra to the fill, so you know Jersey's gonna hit like a pickup into the Jersey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, solid. Ganymede,
Yeah.
do you have anything?
I was gonna. This bastard stole all of my feedback. I was gonna say, I don't know if it's because of the stream.
Sorry.
I did, I did hear like some peak and again it may be the stream quality. Some peak and maybe the 2K 3K region in the plug bass that was maybe a bit too much. I don't know, maybe just me, just my headphones, whatever. And as Break said, for the compression and the low end, I would have maybe added some kind of mid bass sustain, like I don't know, something that's more sustained and less low passed, or like less plucky in general, just to fill out. Because I did try and make something like this, and I felt like it needed at least for me, but that's just to fill out, or you can just compress it more. But other than that, it's just. I think it's fine as is. I really like the pre-drop section. It really threw me off, but in a good way. So yeah, very very good track all around.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the side chain could probably definitely be a little bit shorter because about 75% of the sound is actually being like heard. I feel like the kick compared to the side chain is just way too much. Like I feel it's not really shaping. Like I know that trance and techno and stuff does that, but in this specific situation, I just feel like there's way too much of it. Um, I definitely feel like you could also use like a little bit more bass. I don't know if it's just the way that my headphones or my AirPods are playing it right now, but it just feels like the low end is lacking like a lot. I don't know if I am I wrong or not. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah, no, I was saying that. Maybe even a
and
separate sub could help.
yeah, exactly. But the Jersey section was sick. Definitely could use bass or sub or some 808 or something in that. And then the fills were sick. The breaks were sick. The pre drops were sick. Those were fire. There is a lot of reverb, so maybe you could even clean those up in certain areas or even like add effects to the reverb because like right now it's just mainly just these huge tails. But yeah, otherwise sick track, man. Sorry that I skipped you. I must have closed
Yeah.
it when I closed that other one. But yes, now we're back to the 187 runts.
Mr. Runts.
I don't really have a lot for
Uh,
this one.
I have a couple things. I think this intro is again hitting a limiter at some point a little too hard. Sounds like you're hitting some kind of dynamic like threshold or whatever, and it's pushing everything back enough to where everything sounds like it's fighting. And I think if you just backed stuff off for the intro, um, I think that would just remove that sound because I really hate that sound. It can be done it's that over compression sound can sound really sick, but I think it sounds terrible when it's not on like something that's like full mix bass with like really big drums. So I'd back the intro off and that'd give the drop even more impact. Just like gain wise. Uh, I'd probably there's a little melody in the build up. I think there's a little too much vibrato on it. I think it sounds sick. I just think it's just like a taste thing. I think there's a little too much vibrato, and just backing that off a hair would help in my opinion. I think the low end on the drop needs to be bigger. Maybe just like the bass needs to be louder, like the actual patch, like more distorted. Just to give even a more solid foundation. Kind of want the chord sound to change up. Some points, like maybe like a dead mouse pluck section after the first drop. Um, maybe like a different chord progression too. Just like recontextualize that main like kind of movement, that do that kind of main chord movement in like a different chord progression could be really sick. I think the drums could just be pushed way more forward for the most part. The kick and the snare and stuff. Like the kick this is house music. That kick is like the root of your whole song. Like that's what everything else is flowing around. So I'd pin that kick at the front of your mix, and then I'd mix everything else around that kick. Maybe even back the snare fundamental off because I feel like it's kind of fighting with the kick. Um, and the perks and tops and hats I think could be a little louder. And then the outro, there's that like big doofy snare. I would just switch that out for like a soft kind of clap, like some kind of vengeance clap. But otherwise, yeah, no, this is dope. This is sick as fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say I am nostalgic for that Space Laces melodic stuff. So these melodies and chord progressions really reminded me of that, and I think you did an amazing job at that. The only thing is I thought it was a clap at first, but yeah, it is a snare because you have it at the end. I thought it was too squashed, but yeah, it's probably the layering with the kick while having the fundamental of the snare that is kind of clipping them together and squashing them some. You could either high pass it without the fundamental and have it layered on the on the kick, so that it acts as a kick clap, or you can just use a clap. But I think it sounds fine enough if you just high pass it. But
Yeah.
you might have to tinker around with that. I'd also add either you could you could change like sound palette in the midsection just to have something different, or I'd add a vocal chop in that midsection because there was a top melody. I think vocal chops would have
yeah.
fit there real good. And maybe in the second drop, maybe just to change it up a bit, maybe add like a root note string on top. Nothing too complex. I do like you have established sound and they are good as they are. I don't think you need to overcomplicate it. So that's, I think, just as I said, just a string or something simple on top would or a counter melody, something nothing too complex. But
Yeah.
other than that, yeah,
There's
I think it's good as is. Honestly, really good.
there's one other thing I forgot to mention. I do think that right now the kind of the melody that's implied over the chords in the drop is like typically you just hear the top notes of the chords. Like if you like sing along to the chords, you'll typically just sing the top note. And I think it would be better if you just had like a louder saw, just kind of serving as like a singable part of the chord, just like pushed up a little louder to just give it that like when you hear the chord, you know what I mean, right? Like if you just like have something just to kind of serve as like the melody top of the chord that's not actually the highest note the chord's playing, it's something different to just give a little bit more like harmonic movement in the progression. Maybe you could make that like progression 2 times as long as the chord progression. Then you could give that chord progression way more like staying power because it does kind of start to get a little boring after a little bit. But I think if you just did that, you could totally justify just running that chord progression the whole song.
Yeah, you guys had great point. I'm so glad that you guys are here because, bro, it is so hard to like mix with what's going on with Discord and AirPods right now. I don't know. It's so hard to
Yeah,
hear
bro.
everything. But like, I will say the drums do seem a little behind the mix. Like everything, like it's definitely like way quieter than a lot of those elements. I don't know if it's because of a limiter or what's going on, but you could definitely boost those up. The melodies do get a little bit repetitive, but at the same time it like works well. But definitely like adding a switch somewhere in the first drop could be really cool. But yeah, the idea was sick, and just the way you did it was cool as fuck too. So I do love that upbeat feel. I was telling people in the chat too that we're about to hit the hour and a half mark, so I'm thinking we do this one's 5 minutes, and then you're probably gonna take another 3, 5 for feedback. Then this one's only two. We'll do that one, and then this guy can pick either
Yeah.
which one he wants, and then we're gonna continue
Yeah.
these in the next one.
Yeah, I think for future reference, we're gonna limit it to maybe one track per person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and just
So for these ones though, I'll make sure to put an emoji on them so I can follow them up next time. So for everyone that is here that has these songs, we're just gonna continue it next stream. Because yeah, we're about to hit the hour and a half mark, and I feel like that we gotta go do some stuff after that. But
yeah.
let's
Yeah.
do these.
Also, because we'll probably have a separate channel for that, just so that people have their own feedback channel for the community, and then one dedicated to streams.
Yeah. Definitely. So we'll do that next time too, and then I'll make sure to forward the ones that need to be feedback for next one in there too, so you guys don't have to re-upload it.
Yeah.
Is this
you know,
Zeos? Is Zeos? Are you here right now? Because if he's here right now, could you pick which one you'd like us to do? 2010 dubstep or how we do? I don't know if he's here, but we'll start with this one.
If he's not here, should we just skip over his two songs?
Yeah,
and
we'll
go
just
to
we'll just do this one. Yeah. Okay, so we got "Break the Door" by Mitsuko.
Are we gonna have these streams up?
What do you mean?
Someone's asking it, like, if you leave like the VOD, like the whole stream.
Yeah, the
up on
VOD
your
will
channel.
be here. The VOD will be here.
Yeah. Okay.
Break it down. Break it down. Break it
Hell
down.
yeah.
It's sweet.
Hell yeah.
I couldn't tell. Was it very mono for you guys, or is that just the way that I'm hearing it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's super mono. If I remember correctly, I do think this kid's on FL Mobile, which is crazy.
Oh yeah. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, so I think for like one, I think everything you're just pushing your master bus like a little hard. You're just hitting everything like mad hot, and I definitely just back everything off. It's like kind of distorting to a degree. Um, it's not like a terrible sound, but I would definitely like it's a little overwhelming for most of the track. Um, the kick is also kind of way too distorted and big. I definitely shorten it up and tighten it up.
Yeah,
I want
it has a little
mm,
too much of like 100 hertz, 150, somewhere like that.
yeah. I think especially for like this kind of genre, I think like a kick that's like no longer than a 16th note, that's like really short and snappy to like juxtapose against these really big bass sounds and chord stacks, that would be like super that's kind of like the right pocket to be in mix wise for this kind of music. The bass line, like the bass line itself, super sick. The one that's like kind of throughout the track. I do think that sound is a little flubby. Like I don't know if I'm like super in love with just how it sounds. It just kind of sounds like a fart in some cases. And I think just maybe I don't know if it's like a sine distortion or like FM that's doing that, but I'd probably back off of it and maybe do some like kind of things to make it a little buzzier and not like as farty, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. The chords are super sick. And then the vocal that comes in the drop is really harsh. I definitely back off like everything between like 3K to 7K. Just like pull that back or maybe even drop it down an octave. It's kind of ear piercing when it comes in. But otherwise it's an overall like really dope track, like really cool demo. Super nostalgic.
Yeah, in a minute.
Yeah, I was just gonna point out about the vocal. Yeah,
Yeah.
either put it down an octave, or maybe if you wanna keep it there, maybe I don't know if you, as I said, if you have FL Mobile, if you have some way of doing that, maybe former shifting it down so that the higher harmonics aren't as harsh and they get pushed down. If you
Yeah.
wanna keep it at that octave, but if not, find like a way to like suppress some resonances either through EQ or maybe even making it softer, maybe through a chorus or something. But I personally recommend putting it down an octave.
Yeah.
But other than that, really nice, like old school complexion. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the only thing that you guys said, I mean, it's kind of what I just firstly said is everything is just super mono, but otherwise you guys had
Yeah,
great
facts.
points. Um, But yeah, it doesn't seem like this person's here, so we're gonna just do that, and we're just gonna do
Yeah.
these last two and then be done here for today.
Yeah.
So we got Nomad Remix Rough Mix by MPX Asylum.
Get up.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
let me
Um,
see.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, my only thing from what I still probably have some stuff here I could just brainstorm, but the main thing is I noticed, I thought I was tweaking. I could be wrong though, but the intro, the
No, I
riser
heard it too.
is in my right ear only. So I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
that's,
heard it
yeah,
too.
I feel like you need to fix that, put it in mono. There's definitely some other sounds in the intro build section that were only in my right ear. So definitely fix that. The arrangement is cool. I like the sounds in there, pretty sick. Everything does sound a little bit empty. I don't know if you need to add a little bit more of a background element, if that's like little offbeat stabs or white noise, pink noise, something like that. Maybe even some synths, but and then I did notice that some of the sounds are like very differently processed. So like some sounds either sound a little under processed or some sounds sound a little bit over processed. Everything is just kind of sitting very weirdly. Like the sounds are cool, don't get me wrong, but the way that they're all playing together, everything just kind of sounds like they're just being thrown, like different sounds are just being thrown at each other. Like nothing is really just like a solid flat line. Like everything is just kind of like up and down. Um, Otherwise, I think that's it. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like I said, I can't really give you feedback on mixing right now because I just can't really tell with like high quality,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna give you that. That's my part.
I mean, yeah, I definitely second that like right ear thing. The vocal sounds like it's like almost like halfway just in your right ear. I'd like mono it and maybe throw it like a chorus or something or like a ha something to like make the vocal wide again if it is just like really mono when you bring it back to center. Um the glitch on the main like kind of the kind of like weird kind of I don't know if it's like Effectrix or like Shaper Box, but something in the intro like little melody is kind of throwing me off. I don't know if it's like offbeat or what, but I you could definitely like work with it. I think it's cool, but it also throws me out of the groove in like a way that I'm like, I think it could work a little better. Um, the drop is so cool though that the kind of breaks, like the kind of like little fills you have that bring back the intro and vocals and stuff, they sound really weak in comparison. So I would definitely like juice those up because they kind of stick out to me in a way I don't like compared to like how sick the drop is. You know what I mean? Um, and then the second drop, the main kind of like that sound I definitely think leaves a lot to be desired. I think there needs to be like a little bit more movement, maybe like a high pass making it go like wow 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 or something, just to give it a little bit more like kind of motion, because it's kind of just sitting. It's sitting in like that old 2016. Like this whole track's really reminding me of like that whole like 2016 to 2020 like 2018 like bro step era of like serum dubstep. It's really sick. Like you're definitely nailing it. But like that one sound is reminding me of like my least favorite tracks of that era. Like it's kind of not all there in my opinion. And I think you could definitely get it there. It would just need like probably like 5 minutes of tweaking, and I think you could get there. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, aside of the like bits from the intros and the drop that need to be like compressed a bit more and brought more forward to match the volume, I will also add that there's a growl at around 30 seconds into the intro that kind of jump scared me. I don't know if it was just the stream that jumped in volume just for that growl, but and yeah, same goes with the second drop. I don't know which bass it is because I can't play back at the moment, but there's some discrepancy in volume and high end in the basses. You could work with that either by putting all the basses through the same rack or by balancing like the highs and the compression and distortion like to mesh the main bass. Other than that, yeah, and as Rick said, really solid bro step tune, and just out of preference I wouldn't pitch up the sub in the build up, but that's just me. I don't like doing that personally.
Yeah, facts.
solid. Yeah, fire track, man. But now we have the final track for tonight's stream, and then we will announce the next one. And don't worry, you guys don't have to re-upload it or anything. I'll make sure to forward this tracks and everything to it, so you guys don't have to do all that. Especially for the people that left that aren't even here anymore. But yeah, we have Station Search Dub by Timos.
was crazy. I think the intro it's all good for the most part. Some of the bass sounds, I think, kind of in the beginning, I heard they felt a little bit back. I think they could be pushed forward a little harder. Um, like they kind of felt like they were because like the chops with the sub are like so full spectrum, and then you have this like little bass wub that's like there and it works, but it's like it's just kind of not as forward as the rest of the drop sounds that like kind of I think that could be pushed forward. But this is kind of like in that lane of like I feel like most of the criticism I could give this person is like so is like we're getting down to preference for a lot of these things.
Hmm.
Like you know like I could criticize something like I think there's a couple like chops that I hear are out of key. But very well I know that like that could entirely be preference because that could be a crazy pocket when you hit that like kind of rave stab vibe, you know. And like some of the flow gets a little wonky, but again, like that can entirely just be like your preference, like if you really like that kind of pocket you're in, because it is a sick, like kind of groovy pocket. But I would you know, if you want, I'd maybe try to get a little more focused on like some of the grooves and maybe try to get stuff to sound a little more in tune. But again, preference. Chops are super sick, but I don't think they stand on their own the whole song. I think there needs to be a little bit of ear candy after the first drop to like justify the chops being there, or maybe like putting in a different sound for the chops to sit over, or just like a chord progression. I don't know. Um, and then maybe just also distorting the sub into the chops to just make them glue together a little more because they do sound a little separate. I think you could drive them a little more, but that's
Yeah.
about it.
Ganymede.
I don't know if it's the stream, but the snare clap was very stereo and high and heavy, like more than every other sound. But again, it might have
Yeah.
been the stream compression. And some sounds are a bit too messy and lack tonality in the drop compared to what you had established with the rest of the track, which isn't necessarily bad, but it in some points it's maybe a bit too random, which can tie back to the kind of off tone stuff that Rick was saying. But again, that could be preference, but some sounds to me are a bit too glitchy. One other thing for the second drop, you could have a switch up with like bigger some big rides and a bigger snare, but that's just to give you an idea rather than plain feedback, because other than that it's a really solid idea. I just think it needs to work a bit on the fills, as I said, because some of them are a bit too chaotic. But yeah, like you could you have a pretty established direction at the moment. You just need to polish these things, in my opinion, and you have a very, very solid track.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I think with what Rickster said too, with distorting the sub and the chops to glue them together would be a great idea. The melody in the B section of the A drop, definitely with how glitchy it becomes, it almost like loses its sense of melodic elements that you've been like kind of following through with the entire track. Um, so I mean, like Rickster said it too, though. It's kind of like preference. Some people like this, some people don't. Um, Adding maybe a more melodic element in there with it, maybe to like layer with it or bounce with it. So at least it's like keeping that melodic sound at the same time as it being glitchy, or just completely changing it back to that melodic thing. But again, that's always down to preference. Some people like it, some people don't. Um, I do feel like maybe there could be some background element that could be cool. Because there's some parts where it just gets like really like dry, almost like very stale, because it's just only the chop or only that. But again, that's also preference. Some people just like that. But yeah, and some things definitely could be pushed forward, and some things could definitely push back. But I think I think the big thing there is distorting the sub with the chops could be a big help with that. I feel like that would glue it a lot together, especially with the drop. But sick track though, I really like it. Really good idea. But yeah, I think that is it for tonight. We will run this back. We'll for sure have a specific time and date, and I'll make sure to post that in the Discord as soon as we figure that out. But again, I'm gonna make a specific channel just for the stream. So if you wanna, you don't have to repost the song or anything. I'll make sure to forward it and stuff like that. So we'll get all that rolling. But thank you to everybody that submitted things. It means a lot, and we'll make sure to keep the VOD up too. So if the people that left or aren't here anymore, they could still see it.
Yeah.
All right, boys and ladies, we will catch you guys later.
Ladies and gents.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.